When I look at my older videos, be they on YouTube, on various learning platforms, on EduSpark, or indeed just on my hard drive, I cringe. And I cringe for two main reasons. Not because I'm not yet, like most of us, completely at ease with seeing and hearing myself on recorded video, but more to do with the way I deliver, and secondly, the way that the content and the video has been produced. And today is all about helping you with the second one of those, not the first. I'm Andrew Mowat. I'm a co-founder in EduSpark, and I create lots and increasingly more videos and help others create videos all around delivering asynchronous learning value to a niche of people who'd like to learn some more from your expertise. I'm currently delivering and creating this in the app that I want to talk about today. And the app that I want to talk about today is mmhmm. Strange name, a little bit unforgettable, probably clever from that point of view. And this is an app that really can lift your game in terms of the production value and the ability for you to hold the attention of the person who's watching your video. Now, there are lots of things about attention management that are to do with the way a video is produced, where things are on the screen, aspects of your voice and deliverability, removing distractions, and in many ways can help you significantly hold attention for longer and craft a video in a much easier and faster way than you might normally would using some very simple and accessible technology. In fact, this is being produced and delivered from within the mmhmm app. A little bit later on, I'll change and shift my recording setup so that you can see this happening inside the mmhmm app. Now, for educators, the great news is that this app is for free with people with a school email account or address. And for those of you not in a school institution like me right now, it's $10 a month. And I think this is one of the best value apps for lifting the game, for developing and delivering professional learning content that is simply out there. It's innovative, it's fresh, but more importantly, it plays to a whole series of special science-backed learning design elements that I want to highlight today. And yes, you can see in this production right now, I've clicked across and have behind me a video. And the point of this video works beautifully in the app, doesn't it? The point of this video in this message is that attention is the thing that we are managing, and it's very difficult to manage attention in a remote asynchronous setup such as this as a recorded video. So EdTech, technology in education, should be very much about the whole idea of harnessing attention for the moment of learning and for the message to land from your video. Now, I've got a stack of other videos that I'll be placing in a variety of places all around the whole idea of the importance of attention as a part of the learning pipeline. Anything that's not captured by attention doesn't get into working memory and doesn't land up in some sort of processing workload situation, which then allows the brain to place it into long-term memory. So if you don't get something into attention, you've lost the game from the beginning. And technology should be helping us maintain and harness attention in a particular way. So right now you can see that I've used a video to illustrate my point. I'm now moving to a different setup where I've got a slide and a model that I want to talk to. Now, the advantage in attentional management for me as the presenter is that with my setup here, I have my camera just above me. Hopefully my eyes are landing in the right place. Sometimes I find myself searching a bit. And now I can see in my eye line the points, the learning model that I want to speak to in my eye line. So it takes very little effort. I don't need to look down. I don't need to look to the side. I can stay focused. And in video attentional management, quite apart from the technology and the imagery, it's eyes that hold attention, as well as that sense of authentic leaning in and having energy into the recording as if you're speaking to someone live right now. It's a craft that I'm getting better at. If I look at my old YouTube videos or my other channel, I cringe with how stoic they are and how lectury they are, if I can say that. And as I record more, I move much more into a conversational sense of connecting. And so, yes, I've got this image behind me, but that may be sufficient. If I want to talk to each of these three elements, those elements I could point out now, and that means I've got to get your attention to move from me and my eyes to the point in the picture, if I can find the right place, that I'm referring to. So sometimes a better situation is to change it up so that I in fact make the image more dominant. And in fact, if I'm going to talk about these three elements of a model, maybe what I do is I move myself to the point of the picture that I want to emphasize. So now I've reduced your cognitive load of engagement because your attention is not drifting between two places on the screen, which means that it's very little effort for you to shift your eye to the part of the model about learning from content. And this is a standard model we use in EduSpark to frame good learning design. And I often talk about this. And so then as I move to the next piece, I can move to the part of the screen, the part of the image that is really drawing attention. So I've pulled your attention to the most important part of this screen without fancy builds and slideshows and without the transitions and all of that effort. I'm doing this with relatively low effort as I'm moving around the screen. So as I move back to this opening slide, this whole idea, if I can move back to the opening slide, I can now demonstrate to you very easily how this low cost, high impact, relatively low effort, low learning effort, low production effort, how this app can really contribute powerfully to making sure your learning message lands. So what I'm going to do now is quickly jump into a different format so that I can show you the whole screen. So here we are, we're back in a different app that I'm using to record this. This is the full interface of mmhmm. And I must admit I'm struggling a bit because my eyeline setup is a little bit different, and so excuse me if my eyes wander a little bit, but you can see here the main video feed that's being pulled in from a Logitech C22 camera that I've got that sits above my eyeline so that at least I'm looking up and not looking down. Often when you work with your laptop you look down, it doesn't produce great engagement. That's a hint for live as well as recorded content. So I tend not to use my inbuilt camera inside my MacBook, and I use a Logitech. It gives you a slightly better quality as well. Now on the right hand side you can see the tray with all of the different backgrounds, and some of these are fun and maybe useful or not. I tend not to use these, but they illustrate the point that's involved here. That's a nice background for us to be working with. I tend to work with a variety of different ones. This is probably my standard one that I use in meetings. It gives a sense of being somewhere professional. I live in Singapore in a very small house, and I work in a corner of one of the rooms here, and so I've got a green screen behind me, some good lighting, a decent webcam. It's not the most brilliant setup, and I'm working towards a place where I can have my own dedicated studio, but I don't, and so this makes the best use of all of the resources I have available at the moment. Now you can see a little bit of feathering up on the top right hand side, and you'll see a part of this pop up because of the screen, the way I've recorded the screen here, but I can just adjust the background here, and you can see I can turn off the fact that I've got a green screen behind me. Gives a little bit of green haze, but that sometimes gives a great result too. And so for you, without a green screen behind you, just having a reasonably good background that's consistent in its color can give very good results, and even quite adequate results with any background. So that's an element of this particular platform that I like. Their green screen engine is way better than, say, Zoom. You can set things up so that if you want to talk in a desk type setup and make it look like you're presenting in a particular way, and that way when we start to turn on slides, apologies there, I realise something's happened. I'll tell you about what happened just then in a second. You can have the slides appear on the right hand side here, back to front. I'm still getting used to that, like the old weathermen on telly. So that's, you can choose the backgrounds to your heart's content. That's not the key. The key is what you're seeing down here, and these are individual slides. And every time I drop a slide, an image or a PDF into this tray area, it creates a new scene. I can actually add ones to a constant scene, so I can have more slides in this scene too, or I can have a single slide in a scene. And the thing with this, as I go through this, that's the scene setup I had before. And as I move through this, I can then move to my different scene structures, and I don't have to then go into setting up and moving and dragging in the middle of my recording. So I can have this completely set up as the way that I go. Now, this could be, as right now, this could be a virtual camera feed through to Zoom or any application that takes a virtual camera as a live session feed. We use Whereby in EduSpark, and it works very well inside EduSpark. Google Meet, and even now Teams will do this. However, what I've been doing in all of this is I've been pressing the record button and then recording takes. And you can see there's one take here across this area here, across the slide description. And in some places there might be more than one take. If I mess up, I can record again, and it just simply gives me a number of takes. So here, you can see I've changed the background on this one, but you can see I had take 1 and take 2, and that allows me to choose the best take. So I can take multiple takes, shoot multiple takes, and then I can choose the one that works the best. The frame that I'm giving here is that this is a fabulous environment for you to then start creating your content. All I need to do is to go share and export file, and that then pushes out the MP4, which I do a bit of post production editing on. Sometimes I can get a complete recording done in one go, sometimes not, often not, with my dyslexia and the jets that fly overhead. And this then means that as a production environment, it's super structured. I can see my slide progressions. I can see the slide being displayed behind me so that I don't have to break my eye line. I can talk to the key talking points without hesitation. I can manage your complete attention, and that's what I think EdTech should be doing. EdTech should be helping us with attention management, and this then really helps us deliver a much better version of a recorded engagement that holds people's attention throughout the message that you land. What are your thoughts? What are you struggling with in terms of your production? What would you like me to show you more of, going at maybe a deep dive into this fabulous app, maybe as a bit of a final provocation, putting this in the hands of kids and helping them produce content, moving them from consumers to creators, might be something you'd like to look at. What questions do you have? Please throw them in, comments, questions, criticisms, anything in the chat below. I'm super keen to engage, and let me know what you'd like to see next or explore in greater detail, either with this app or other questions you have about producing video content for professional learning. Hope that's helpful. Hope your day is going well. Love to talk to you soon.